Oh, you can get the clap twice.
You get the clap twice?
Yeah, between two burns, yeah, between two burns. Come and join the convo. Jason and Ethan here to talk, yo. Chillin' while we filling up the room with cigar smoke. Hey, between two burns, yeah, between two burns. This be the show that you like. We always keeping it hype. We got cigars in the mic, talking the pipe and the pint. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Between Two Burns, episode 13. Very special episode. Doing a little fun gimmick today. How you feeling there, Mr. Botts?
I feel like a winner. That's how I feel.
Do you feel like a celebrity now? We are getting recognized for the podcast more often than we're getting recognized as anything else. Nobody knows me as Harper's dad anymore. They know me as the guy on Between Two Burns.
My wife the other day just looked at me in awe, and my famousness just inspired her. Not really. She doesn't care. But, you know. Hey.
I got to say, if I've learned one thing, spouses love it when you tell them how famous you are.
That's exactly right.
So we're doing something special today, doing a little fun little gimmick. We talked about it. It is NBA Finals time. It is NHL Stanley Cup Finals time. We're going to do a little, I want to call it a draft. We're going to call it our Cigar Starting 5. Okay, and I'm going to be curious as the kind of, and we're going to go through it, but the approach that you took versus the approach I took on this and how you did your 5.
So I will say this. I love college basketball.
You're
don't
not
watch
NBA
a lot of NBA. I keep up with it. You know, I'll listen to a podcast here and there about it. But I feel like I've got a pretty good starting 5. I wonder, I feel like there's got to be a way we can get people to vote on this, where we can get listeners to vote on
we'll
what
put
starting
it on Instagram
5.
when we launch the pod. We'll put it on Instagram next week. We'll have you vote for the best starting 5.
Yeah.
Whoever loses, well, we'll put our quote unquote position against position up against each other.
There we go.
We'll do it like that to create the blended starting 5.
Okay.
And if one person gets all 5, then it's going to hurt the feelings of the other one. So I would encourage people to mix their votes up. We'll do it blind.
And vote
so
for
that
Ethan.
there could be no favoritism with all the eBots followers out there. There's one sitting over there.
Yeah. We got Mr. Monk himself from Winston-Salem with us today.
The bearded wonder's sitting over there watching everybody, making it extremely
he wants
awkward and uncomfortable.
He wants it to be a starting rotation for baseball, though.
Well, he's watching this because it sucks to watch the Braves right now, so he's turned in to watching the podcast.
Just catching bullets.
Mm-hmm. early and catch strikes. Could be that kind of podcast.
I know that you are smoking one of your cigars that is in your starting 5.
Is in my starting 5.
So we won't tell everybody what it is.
I won't talk about it until we get there.
I'm not smoking a starting 5 cigar. I'm smoking the new Tatuaje pork tenderloin.
Ooh, baby.
It's very good. Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. This is the first time this cigar has been made since 2010. Now, they did make the Loma de Cerdo 2 years ago, I think it was. That was the pork tenderloin blend with the Tuxtla wrapper leaf on it, so San Andreas Maduro wrapper leaf. This is the original broadleaf. It's very good, and they're available in Durham, which is where we are again today.
Yeah, we're back in our studio. I think this is our permanent home unless something changes.
Yeah.
All right, so quick question.
No.
Obviously not since 2010. You're a tat guy, known tat guy. Everybody knows that. Surprised. Well, I would be very surprised if there's not a Tatuaje in your starting 5. But again, I don't know the kind of approach you took. So you may have gone and just
this is the starting 5.
You may have gone Dallas Cowboys style. And I'm only getting things from Tatuaje. As a certified tat guy, because pork tenderloin is a popular, cult following Tatuaje. Where is it in your tat hierarchy?
I don't know yet. I think it's very good. It's smoking really good right now.
I don't necessarily mean that, but like even the original, just like this line.
So I've only ever smoked the original one time, and I smoked it like 2 years ago, and so it had 13 years of age on it at that point. And when a cigar gets that much age, it's really hard to gauge just how good it is, and it was great. I'd put it upper middle of the pack. I was not the biggest fan of the Loma de Cerdo. If that wasn't in there, it may be a little bit higher. So far, this is the third one I've smoked of these, and it's very good. I do think it needs just a little bit of time to round out a little bit.
Okay. Time from a humidity standpoint,
No,
or time
just
from an aging, like
time
legitimate
from an aging standpoint.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's not to say they're not ready to smoke now. It is ready to smoke now. I wouldn't be smoking it if it wasn't. But I do think 3 to 6 months in the humidor will do it some good. I think it'll bring out the sweetness a little bit. You know, I actually smoked last night at home. I smoked a Boris Karloff. I was going through my cigars and I found the box and I took one out and I texted Austin and I texted Mike and I asked them when was the last time they smoked one, because that cigar is smoking perfect right now. It is smoking absolutely perfect. And when I bought that box originally, that was what, in like, was that earlier this year? January, February?
I feel like it was just after the first of the year.
Yeah. I feel like it was early on in the year.
Yeah, that seems right.
I really liked it. It was really spicy and meaty. Now the sweetness, which is what I enjoyed of the original Karloff, has come out just after sitting in the humidor for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
I think the same thing's going to happen with this. They only made 5,000 bundles of it. I don't know when they do it again. You know, it's been
it'll be another
15 years. Yeah, so I think it's worth grabbing.
I think it's cool to do that. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't have to be every year, right? I mean, I understand why sometimes it's every year, but holding something for that period of time and really building up a following behind it.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of my favorite, excuse me, one of my favorite packages of all the packaging that's done in the butcher wrap paper with the label that looks like a grocery store meat counter tag and everything like that. That seems silly, you know, the type of thing, but packaging, you know,
packaging sells, you know?
Yeah, packaging sells, but it's part of the presentation. It's why you see people unboxing fancy shoes and stuff like that. All right, before we get into our thing, you just talked about pork tenderloin. We had some other new stuff hit the shelves this week. We had JFR
20th anniversary.
Yeah.
Yep. Different blend than regular JFR. San Andreas Maduro wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and filler. It is more full-bodied than what the regular JFR is. We have been told what the blend supposedly is, but I think that's a trade secret. So maybe we'll tell you if you're nice and you ask us, but we don't want to say what it is on the pod.
Yeah.
But it is a blend that has been done before that was a beloved blend that was discontinued. So it is a very, very, very good cigar. It is regular production.
Yep.
Price points on it are very nice.
Very good price point.
$10 to $13. And if you're a big ring gauge smoker, they're big ring gauges, except for the Toro. They do have a 6.5 by 52, I think it is, Toro. Really good. Really, really, really good. So, I mean, it's a good cigar to celebrate JFR. Here's the thing. If Aganorsa had come out with Aganorsa 25th, and it was $30, right? But JFR is what got them on the map, and that's a sub-$10 cigar. People would have been pissed if JFR 20th was like $20 or $30. So the way that they priced this thing and did this thing was perfect.
To stay in line with what they do with that line is key, right? Like, it would be silly to come out with, and actually some cigars, I won't name anybody, but some cigars come to mind that the company sells its core as a price-sensitive value cigar, but they've come out with limited editions that are, like you said, $20 or $30. It doesn't
make sense.
It doesn't fit the aesthetic of what was there before. So yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we got that, and then not quite brand new, but still brand new to us, the new Plasencia Alma de Cilio.
So
is that how it's pronounced?
Patrick, one of our Durham guys, and I were just talking about this. I don't know if it's Cilio. I don't know if it's Cello. I don't know if it's Cielo. I have no idea. But what I do know is it's the world's highest elevation cigar.
Yeah.
So
this is its thing, right?
Yep. So it's grown at over, I think they said on the website, 1,300 meters above sea level, so over 3,500 feet above sea level, if that maths.
Yep.
Math
that
guy.
For sure.
So it's the world's highest elevation cigar. The interesting thing about it, in my opinion, is it's a lot more mild than what the average Plasencia smoker typically wants.
So that, yeah, I haven't had a chance to have it yet, but
you will absolutely love it, and it will be your favorite Plasencia.
Oh,
that's
interesting.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I'm due to try it. It's pricey, even for Plasencia.
It is pricey. I think that's so. I'm interested. I think this cigar is going to be the most interesting thing to see what the staying power of it is, because Plasencia, even for the price, has staying power, right? Plasencia does very well. Even though their pricing is at $20 to $25 on a lot of their stuff. Obviously, the Cosecha line's a little bit less expensive, but they have a cult following. However, Plasencia cigars are known for being more, at least medium full to full-bodied for the most part, right? This cigar comes out. It's more expensive than all of them, and it's the most mild one that they've ever done, at least in the Alma line, right?
Yep.
I don't know. I love this cigar. I think it's a very good cigar. I do not know what the consumer reaction to it is going to be. I don't really know what Plasencia was going after. I don't know if they were going after that Davidoff market, because if you're a Davidoff smoker and you smoke it, it's gonna fit the bill, and it's gonna be a little bit stronger than your Davidoffs. But if you're used to smoking Padron Aniversario Maduros and Alma Fuerte and Alma Fuego and Liga Privada, it's not that strong.
Right.
But we'll see. It's really good. I do know that.
Yeah, so that's on the shelves at all of our stores, or all of our Plasencia stores, if that makes sense. Right?
Everywhere but Southport.
But the beach, yeah.
Everywhere but the beach.
And they'll probably get that eventually. So, yeah, a few new things. Excited to see. We're still expecting new stuff to roll in for the show and stuff like that we've talked about in the past. But let's get on to I'm excited for the meat of this episode.
Yeah.
I told you I took it very seriously. I thought about it very much as like a sports GM, how to make my team here. So we both have 5 cigars. I don't know if you went and did I've got a 6th man.
I did. I got a rookie.
I've got a rookie of the year.
Overrated.
You do have it overrated, underrated. Okay,
overrated, underrated.
Yeah, I didn't know if we want to touch completely on that.
Maybe. We'll see how it goes.
If we got a coach, I don't know if you got a coach or not.
I didn't do a coach, but I can come up with one.
The interesting thing is I've got a coach in mind, and I considered the blender owner kind of the coach, right?
Okay.
In that sense, but he is represented, but one time on my starting 5. But it would be the one that, if I was saying I wanted to do my entire team, this is how the person I would want to put together. So I think that's interesting. Yeah, I've got rookie of the year, got 6th man. So yeah, I'm excited about it. So we got each got a starting 5. We're doing point guard, shooting guard. You got a small forward, you got a power forward, and you got your center.
Yep.
Okay. And there were necessarily no rules in regards to what you put in each one, but it made sense to kind of pair it with what the NBA equivalent would be, right?
Right.
So point guard is I went in that route. So
I did too.
But if it
I got
wasn't,
a big man, and I don't smoke big ring ages, but I got a big man.
Yeah, I've got 2. Yeah, I've got a big man, and I've got them in different ways. So I want to make that clear, right? This is open to interpretation, okay? And I'll explain why I chose this and what I think. But my goal was to make a team, not just the 5, the absolute best cigar eaters, because I can't have 5 Jordans. That team doesn't win. Right, they're
Mr. Pate would argue with you.
Well,
on
he
that.
might, but they're each fighting each other. One Jordan hates the other Jordan because that Jordan's taking this Jordan shots, right?
Yeah,
so you got to have a team atmosphere. They've got to be cohesive. They got to know their role.
I like it.
Okay,
I like it.
All right, so I got my notes.
And,
you said you forgot your notes, which is sad.
Yeah, I did forget my notes, but I remembered most of it.
Okay.
So I've got it on here. And the one thing that we didn't say is this is a draft. If you pick a cigar, I pick a cigar. It cannot be picked again.
Yeah, so I kind of forgot about that when I was doing that, so I don't have much in the way of backups. I may have to wing that.
Got to be a good GM, man. If your draft pick gets taken, you got to pivot.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. Maybe I just move them sizes. You know what I mean? Like if he takes, this, I can take the shorter version. I can take the shorter version.
You can phone a friend.
I got no friends, man. But the 2 of you guys are you guys are sitting here. Who I would call?
I was about to say the other 2 are probably in Greensboro, right?
Yeah,
I know
it should be working. So one of them should be.
be.
It's supposed to be at least. Let's put it that way. Yeah, exactly. Sure. Okay, so
all right, first pick.
I'm gonna go first.
Yep, first pick.
My first pick is my point guard, quote unquote. All right, it is the cigar I'm smoking.
Okay.
Not in this size though. Okay. So for my point guard, I'm going with the Hoya Connecticut in the Lonsdale.
Interesting.
Okay. Smaller ring gauge, but longer. I wanted more length out of my port guard. So I could have gone, a multitude of different ways. Do I want something, that short traditional point guard, but I wanted something smooth, easygoing, right? To run my offense here, right? To start it out.
I like
it. All right, I'm thinking, but he's also versatile. The Lonsdale is versatile. Could be, maybe he's running the point, but maybe steps over, knocks down some threes. Very Curry-esque. This is actually, if we're equating it to the current NBA Finals, shout out the Thunder and the Pacers. The Lonsdale's very Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay.
Long, lengthy, smooth point guard, all right? So Hoya, Connecticut, Lonsdale, 6 5/8 by 44 is my size on that. Nothing too offensive. Good, knows what he's doing, right? Starts the offense right. It's like starting your day out right.
So here's my question for you: does Tyrese Halliburton, is his aura gone after doing the choke? Is the aura already gone?
No. It's probably only
because what I'm saying is maybe the aura of the Hoya, Connecticut it's died down a little bit, man.
Well, it hasn't died down for me. Okay. so mind your goddamn business and worry about your own team. That's
I love that cigar. I bought
that's my. And so here's where my thought. My thought was this starting five is for me.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
There's nothing on here that I don't smoke or wouldn't smoke or anything, just for the sake of saying it's good.
Yep.
Okay. But it's also stuff. There's nothing on my list that's not readily available at any of our stores, except for one, which is still sort of available, but has to be in my starting five.
Yeah, I got you.
But any of these things that you look at, you can pick up. Okay. But yeah, it's a little Curry. It's Halliburton. It's ready to go. Yep. It's versatile. Okay. Price point's solid.
I like
it. It's not breaking my bank as far as my contracts. My contracts are coming up later.
Okay. That's fair.
I've got a salary cap to stick to. I can't. I'm not like you. I'm not the Dodgers, evidently, where I can just spend as much as I want.
I'm a Cubs fan. Thank you very much. We're working on the farm system here.
The tobacco farm system.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly right.
All right. Well,
lay your point guard.
I like it. So my point guard is going to the Tatuaje, to no one's surprise, Black Label Petite Corona. The BC is what it is. Now, BC, interesting story on this cigar, because I'm going to talk a little history on the cigar first. This cigar was kind of formalized down on a Saints and Sinners trip down to the My Father factory in Nicaragua. And the guys that were on this trip were smoking it so much that they kept calling it black crack. So that's what the BC means. That's what the BC stands for. Yeah. I don't think that's very advertised, but that is what it stands for. The reason I picked this cigar, a couple things. One, I absolutely love it. It's a 4.5 by 40 Petite Corona, if I'm not mistaken.
So you went little guard. So
I went little guard.
So my Hoya is going to post yours up.
No, man, mine's got handles. And you know why it's got handles? Because it was 91 point rated by Halfwell, and it was the #1 cigar of the year that year.
Was it really?
Yes. So this is not some rinky dink. I'm too small for the NBA point guard.
It's not a G
This
League
is MVP of the league point guard I got going on right now.
So this is Allen Iverson.
We're going or CP. You know what I mean? I like some CP.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah. So I wanted something that could really drive flavor without being too strong. Same thing, right? So the wrapper on that is the I believe it's Sun-Grown Criollo, I believe. But it's got enough flavor. Yeah, Sun-Grown Criollo. Yeah, so it's got enough flavor to where it's rich and got good body, but it's not too strong, right? So it can really start your day. Like I said, the guys on the trip were smoking it all the time on that trip. And unfortunately, the only problem with this cigar is they're really hard to get. They're not made that often. I think they only make them like once a quarter or once every other quarter. So they're a little tough to get. But for $5, awesome.
I like it. And value.
Yeah.
Right?
Value.
You got a good contract, a friendly contract. You could trade him at any point in time for a couple to get back if you needed.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly right. Back. All right, I'm gonna let you. I'll give you back to back. So I'll let you come right back around with your shooting guard.
All right.
With your two guard. I'll be interested to see what your two guard is because my backcourt's very interchangeable here.
All right. So this is my. All right. Let's talk about a well-rounded team, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to pick all Nicaraguan. I did want to pick all Nicaraguan, but that's not a well-rounded team, right? You got people.
I may have picked all Nicaraguan.
Okay. All right. Well, you got teams, right? You need something. What if I want something Honduran? What if I want something Dominican? So I'm going for.
Can Hondurans get buckets?
They can because this is the Kobe. So. This is the Kobe of Hondurans right here.
Oh boy!
All right. So I'm going with the Plasencia 151 Corona Gorda.
Okay, good pick.
Absolutely
Thought
unbelievable.
Thought about it myself, actually.
Unbelievable cigar. So the Plasencia cosecha means harvest, right? 151 was the 151st harvest. So this is almost like, this is the closest thing you can get to like a vintage in cigar tobacco, right? This cigar is a Honduran cigar that I actually like because, as we've talked about before, Honduran tobacco I'm not the biggest fan of. But this Honduran tobacco tastes a little Nicaraguan, honestly.
Yeah, it does.
So, you know,
yeah.
it's
This
multi...
is not cheating. This is good scouting. Is what this is.
This is exactly good scouting.
This is scouting.
It's multi-versatile, right? Like, I wanted something Nicaraguan, but I didn't want that big spice. I could smoke it. If I wanted something Honduran, I could smoke it. Love this cigar. It's fantastic.
You found the cigar whose parents were born in the United States, played both professional basketball, but they had to move to Honduras, and they had a kid.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
2 Hall of Famers, they had to move to Honduras.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, yeah, 151 Corona Gorda. I went with the Corona Gorda because I wanted him to have a little bit of length. I wanted him to be able to shoot the 3-ball.
So you want him to step out and shoot threes.
I want to step out and shoot the 3-ball.
All right. I like it. I like that a lot. Genuinely thought about it myself. Plasencia in that spot. My 2 guard here. My backcourt's completely and totally interchangeable. Okay, I've got a tall point guard.
Okay.
All right, I've got a magic point guard. My 2 guard is my guy. This at the 2 spot. This is the guy who walks in the locker room, and this commands the respect. Like, this is my high contract guy. He's a max contract. He's won MVP of the league 4 times. He's got 2 titles. He's not ring hunting or anything like that. Like, this is ready to go. My shooting guard, Padron, the 1926, number 6, the Robusto. Okay. 4 3/4 by 50. A little bit smaller. Okay, but don't let that fool you. This is my Kobe. This is my Anthony Edwards. This is my SGA. This is the guy that the ball goes to when we need a bucket at the end, right? Like, you're at a wedding, you got a birthday present to buy for, you just had a kid. There's only one place to go, and that's in the Padron family.
I like it.
So I settled on 26 and the number 6, all Nicaraguan. Like I said, I think my team may be completely and totally Nicaraguan. Earthy cigar, probably as earthy as that I like personally. I think all Padrones are complex cigars. You can kind of, for me personally, you can kind of get what you want out of Padron cigars, if that makes sense, right? If you're looking for earthy, I think you can find it. If you're looking for sweet and chocolatey, I think you can find that on there. And listen, he's a blue blood, right? He played at Duke. He played at Kentucky. He played at, well, he probably didn't play at Carolina recently, but he probably played at Kansas or something.
He didn't play at Michigan either.
He didn't play at Michigan. No, man. If he played at Michigan, it's because he played at 3 places before that, and stuff like that. Teasing, obviously, but he comes from a blue blood factory, right? He comes from the cream of the crop in college. He, or she, for that matter, I don't know, knows what they're doing.
What's Caitlin Clark play?
Yeah, played at Iowa. Yeah, she's a shooting guard.
She's shooting guard.
Very much Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah,
right?
I
Like,
respect
owns
it.
the league, awards all the time.
Yep.
Great cigar. And not being funny, but it truly is. If we do this, when somebody comes in, talks to Austin, talks to yourself, talks to Robbie, if somebody comes in and says to you, is like, dude, I want to get a cigar for my dad for Father's Day, something good. I want to get something for my buddy for his wedding, something good. My buddy's having a baby.
A baby.
A baby.
It's a baby, sir.
Taylor, they took her baby. Padron is your guys. Padron is your number 1 go-to. Would you not agree with that, smartasses?
Yeah, and I got one on my list that'll come later. So yes,
okay.
I think. I don't know. I'm still debating a couple of these actually. This is last minute draft selection.
Well,
here.
That's the thing. Sometimes you see what I'm doing. Yeah. Maybe you need a defensive stopper.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody, you don't got a guy who gets buckets, but somebody who locks it down.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you need a Lou Dort.
That's right.
Type. You know what I mean?
Right. That's right.
Shout out the Thunder.
Right. That's right.
All right. Let me turn my notes over here. So I'm gonna go again. Small forward.
Yep.
Can play all the spots.
Yep.
Probably stretch you out, shoot some threes.
Yep.
Okay, but he can back your guy down, right? Your tiny little guard comes out there. He's going to put you under and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is the one that I said, like, again, all these cigars available at the Pipe and Pipe. This cigar is technically available if you're nice and you ask very kindly. okay, because of the supply demand. To no surprise that this is on my list, right? Because it has to, because it really is my favorite cigar, especially the way this guy's a veteran, right? Been in the league 15 years, right? Played at like Texas Tech for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like, been in the league for a long time, super reliable, great every time you smoke it. You know what you're going to get. You can put it out there. You can trust it. You can put it in the hands of anybody. Our version of my father's El Rey Solobanos, the Toro, is what I'm going for with one of my absolute favorite cigars. You know that. Like, I didn't want to fill just these 5 with my favorite 5 at every one of these sizes, which I didn't do. This one, for me, has to be on there because of the way it is now. It's not what it once was when it came into the league, right? It was a hot prospect coming in the league. It was a lottery pick. It's mellowed out over the years, right? It's aged well. Think Robert Ory, right? Udonis Haslem, something like that, right? Like, you got to have this guy on the floor. It's that good of a cigar. It never disappoints. You can always it's not going to cause trouble in the locker room, right? You're not going to worry about this guy with the DUI on the way to the stadium or the arena or whatever it is. So, love this cigar. You guys have heard us talk about it a million times. We had it for 12 years or 10 years? 12 years? 13 years?
It was made in
2012?
14.
Was it 14? Is that what it was? So 10 years roughly.
Yeah, it was February 14th of 14, I think.
And it's true. It mellowed out over time. We talked about this other podcast when we smoked it. It was a much spicier, much stronger cigar when it first came out. It does not have that strength anymore. Yeah. But it's still very complex. It's very, for me personally, super floral, right? It has some of the spice still hanging on. Like, you know, if you're not playing on a back-to-back, suddenly it's like it's hit 4 threes in the third quarter. You're like, what's happening? Like, why is this? It's still so good. Yep. It has to make my list. Yeah. Right? Now, like it. I took the Toro version. There are no Toros left, folks. There's only Churchills. So if you're looking for a center, you know, if you're looking for a big man.
That's exactly right.
You know, but it's just as good in all the sizes. You know, we really did a good job of introducing it to customers over the last couple of years that maybe, you know, for all sorts of reasons it really wasn't out there, and we really made a push to put it out there. Yeah. And the popularity of it and the demand for it just was crazy, to the point that we're down to just a handful of boxes. And there's a point soon where there will be some left, but there are none left, right? Those belong to us to hang on to for years to come. Yeah. I don't know how long I would legitimately let it hang on, because I would hate to smoke it 10 years from now and have it not be good. That would be unfair to the cigar.
Yeah. It needs to go into the Hall of Fame while, you know, they're still living. The posthumous Hall of Fame thing.
Oh, yeah, this is the first ballot. This is the first ballot. As soon as we win this title over you, we've gone on. You know, we're putting in the rafters. We're retiring it. Yeah, we actually should do that for this cigar.
Seriously.
We'll have a ring ceremony, retirement ceremony at the shop. We'll raise the El Rey Solobanos into the rafters. It's that good of a cigar. It's that unique. It was made for us, right? We drafted this guy, stayed with us, always signed the contract to stay, right. Took less money, team-friendly deals, took less money to hang out with us and play for us, because we're a winning franchise. Okay?
I like it.
So
I like it.
Shout out my father. Shout out the El Rey. That is my small forward. Can do anything.
Yep.
Can do anything.
I like it. So that's a hell of a speech right there, by the way. That was selling right there, buddy. You sold me on it. I want El Rey on my team now, if I'm being completely honest with you. But I don't have El Rey.
Listen, I need 2 first-round picks. And
my first child.
$100.
All right. So small forward.
Small forward.
This is guy that can do everything for me, right? This is my locker room guy, like you said. This is my.
So it's interesting that small forward you went the same. Right?
I did. This is my locker room guy. This is my. If we've got one shot left in the game, give it to this guy. All right, I want this guy with the ball.
This guy.
This is this guy. Like I want my small forward to be my guy.
Okay, gotcha.
My guy, right? And so I'm going with the Padron 1964 Exclusivo.
You went okay.
I want this. So
this player was on our radar.
Yes.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And a couple reasons here. I've always liked the 64 more than the 26 because I feel like the 64 is a little bit more balanced. It's got a little bit more of a cocoa note to it, in my opinion. The big spice isn't there, and I can smoke it pretty much any time during the day, right? I gave this cigar out at my birthday party. I want this cigar to be around all my friends. I want this cigar to know everybody. I wanted this cigar to be on TV, all the movie deals, all the commercial deals.
Yeah.
Get this cigar, this cigar, just all the endorsements, right? But with that being said, this cigar also isn't as expensive as the other Padrones, right? So this is going down the same
Team-friendly deal.
line of thought that you went down. The Exclusivo, it's gone up over the last couple years, unfortunately, but it's still a sub $20 Padrone, even though it's right there at $20. It is what I like to call a desert island cigar for me. And, you know, it's not my favorite cigar of all time, but it is very close.
The desert island is an interesting description of anything. Like, right, what if you had to have just one, you're going to smoke it. Because what else are you going to do on a desert island other than smoke cigars? So you got to do it over and over again. It's
the most expensive box of cigars I think I've ever bought.
Really?
Yeah, because I, you know, thankfully, appreciatively, you give us a good discount buying cigars. Larry.
Shout out me.
Yeah, shout out you. Yeah. Larry, love him to death.
Like the Donald Sterling. Well, that's a bad example. No.
Larry didn't do the discounts that you do, but I still bought stuff, obviously.
Yep.
And so I bought a box of Exclusivo basically at full price. And that was like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, and it was still like $400 then. So it was by far the most expensive cigar I've ever bought. But it's one that I wish I had in my humidor all the time. It's one I always want on my team. We're retiring this guy.
Yep.
We're hanging the numbers in the rafters. The same thing.
Yep.
Like, this will be the face of the franchise for many, 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 many years to come.
So it should be of no surprise that we, we're each 3 players in, and players, state cigars. We're blurring the line between human and artificial.
Is this just real life?
Is this real life?
Just fantasy?
That we both have a premium Padrone on the list, and we're teasing, we're comparing it to the Blue Bloods, but it's true, right? If you want to equate it and you want to think of it like that, Padrone doesn't mess around. They just don't. They know what they do best, and they continue to do it over and over and over again. So
the funny thing about it, this is one that I was oscillating on a little bit, though.
Okay.
And I don't know if you have one on your list, but I'm going to give you a little preview at the rest of mine, because I don't. I almost went Opus X, regular Opus X Perfection X here, but the reason I didn't is because the Opus, in my opinion, is like the injury guy, right? You don't know when they're going to be available.
So
right?
What's an athlete's greatest ability? Availability. So I toyed around at all different spots for an Opus, and I wanted to put the 20th on there somewhere, but I did want it to be a list where, like, if you're listening to this, like, this is a list, like, when I say starting 5, this would be in my humidor at home.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm hanging out at home. This is my ride or dies. Like, if you want to equate it, the Opus is the expensive free agent that everybody's trying to, Scott Boras is their agent. They're looking for $400 million.
That's right.
And that's not a knock on them, but it's a limited type of thing. So I wanted my team to round out to something that I could tell you to come by the shop, put it in your box, and you're ready to go. So,
that's where I was too.
I did very much try to find a spot for a different Opus if I could or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, am I?
Now you're going back to back.
So now
you're on your power forward. Very interested to see.
So
we'll do your power forward. Yep. Come back to me. Do my power forward. Then we'll go back on center. Go back on center. We'll do it like that.
All right. So power forward here. I am torn here.
So
I'm very torn.
This was what I was most torn about, because the way I handled it in the type and everything like that. It's history. So go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
This is the reason I'm torn is because I have one that I would probably pick and smoke a little bit more than the other one, but I feel like the other one fits the role a little bit better and rounds out my team a little bit more.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to go with. And I'm going with the LFD DL700 Maduro.
Interesting. So this was a cigar that was on my list. So lay it on me.
So bigger ring gauge, bigger body on the floor,
Yeah.
right? I don't have anything Dominican on my team, but I also don't like a lot of Dominican. If I smoke Dominican, though, it's going to be LFD because it's more full-bodied, it's strong, it's getting to the basket, it's getting rebounds, it's helping out the center.
Yep.
We're rocking and rolling with this thing, but it complements the team.
Yeah.
They're not competing with each other.
That's right.
So I'll be interested to see what yours is, and then I will give you what my other one was that I would probably smoke over the LFD. The only other reason I didn't want to go with the LFD is because they are so hard to get these days, but they shouldn't be, right? Like they shouldn't be. But that's what I went with, DL700 Maduro.
Yep, I like it. I toyed around with it as well. You know, I don't personally smoke it that often, so that is where I veered away.
Yep.
Did it fit my system?
Yep.
Right. So I did veer away.
System guy.
So we stick to our system. Okay. If we don't
I
have
respect it.
if you don't have a system, what do you have?
Yeah.
You have anarchy. Okay.
Anarchy.
And it's not as cool as it sounds, bro. Okay. My 4-spot, my power forward. Okay, so here's my thinking. All right, I needed somebody to beat it around down low. I needed somebody, if somebody's getting on my Padron, getting in their face, my guy's gonna come over and
take him out.
Take him out,
The
like
enforcer.
lay him down. Right.
Yep.
This is my Barkley.
Yep.
This is my Charles Oakley.
Yep.
Okay, somebody who's going to protect my other guys. Now, I may have overpaid for this guy a little bit to bring him in, but I needed to win a championship, and this is what my team was missing. Okay, so if I was going to go with a big guy who was short and squatty, right, had some girth to him, he needed to be able to do it, right? He needed to be big time. I went Judge Gran Robusto from my father. Okay.
I get the overpaying thing, man.
I overpaid a little bit, but I had to bring him in.
If you'd got him a couple years ago.
Yeah, if I'd have got him a couple years ago,
right.
his contract's a little expensive. I'm paying for past performance. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. But I need a guy on the floor, right? He's got to have some ass to him. He's got some ass. He's short. He's thick.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's got a touch of Zion to his shape. Right? You know what I mean? But he's got some attitude. He's got some accolades, right? You know, he was #1 cigar of the year, and I brought him in. But I brought him in to win a championship. But if I was going to put a guy who's that big, that thick in my lineup, he's got to be good. Okay? He's got to run the pick and roll with my Padron.
I like it.
So my Padron decides if I'm going to dump it off, he's got to be there. He's the most full cigar on my list, certainly, for my own personal palate.
Yeah.
You know, medium. I would consider interested to hear what you think. I would consider Judge close to full, maybe 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10,
full.
something like that, medium full.
It's a little stronger than it looks for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the Padron is probably there too, maybe in that 6.5, something like that, 7.
Yeah.
You know, something along those lines. But this I got to do work. I've got a pedigree. This is my guy.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Listen, I am fully aware that I am paying for past performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's very a lot of the ego is big.
Well, it's an interesting thing to let's compare cigars and basketball here for a little bit. Cigar aficionado will deny vehemently that the people that pay the most money don't get the accolades, but we pretty much all know that that's not true.
Go back and look at the list. You can listen.
Right.
You go back and look at these lists. You can devise your own opinion on anything.
Right. But so my father, Judge, Le Bijou Box Press Torpedo, and Flor de las Sentillas Toro have all gotten #1 cigars of the year. Flor de las Sentillas Toro got it shortly after the great divorce, right, of Aganorsa and my father.
Yep.
If that hadn't happened, do you think my father would be as big as they are today?
If I don't think what happened.
They got the #1 cigar of the year in 2012 or 15 or now. And I have a train of thought I'm going with this.
I'm going to say I feel like the quality would here's what I'd say. I feel like it may have taken longer for them to be as big. Maybe we're still a couple years from reaching their peak.
Yeah.
At this point, it may have taken longer. That certainly lit an accelerant on it. But I feel to say their cigars are good and great is not an understatement, right? Like they 100% have it on there. I've got 2 on my list, obviously. So I think yes. So yes and no. I think it accelerated their popularity in their business, but I don't think it created it. Because let's be honest, we had this discussion with Terrence a couple pods ago when he was at Casada and they got number one with Casa Magna, which that could be, I'm not saying it's the best number one of all time, but what I'm saying is that could very well be the number one of all number ones, right? Because of it coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It coming at a price point that just shocked people. But did that really push that into another stratosphere? Because that cigar is not that anymore.
Yeah.
It's fine, but it's not that anymore.
Yeah.
Casada's obviously a legacy name in cigars, and great for the industry and everything like that. But I would argue that it didn't put Casada up into an air that my father's in currently. Would you agree or disagree?
No, I agree with you. So here's my thought process behind asking you that question. I agree with you. I still think my father would be big. I don't know that they'd be quite as big, but they'd be on their way there. And I'm not saying that they bought the number one, right?
Ooh.
That's not what I'm saying. They earned that number one, but I do think the advertising dollars that they paid probably put them more in the windshield of Cigar Aficionado, right? So what I'm saying is that money that they invested helped them win the ship a little bit earlier. So what I'm saying is you're making a good investment. You're making that good investment to help win the ship because you've got good parts to your team, but you need the other piece, and so you're going to pay the money for it. I'm advocating for your team here is what I'm doing.
Yes, I agree. Listen, my guy was on some magazine covers.
Yeah.
Right. He got an NIL deal, right? He's doing commercials for a mattress firm or whatever it may be, or something like that. Papa John's or whoever it is. But I do agree with you. But having that on your resume, it's never hurt anybody.
Yeah,
unless you completely fumble it, which I'm sure people have done. Like, I'm sure there's test cases of cigars that have gotten highly rated by aficionado that were maybe off the radar a little bit, that they were not able to meet the demand of it.
I mean, I think Casa Magna could actually be used as an example
it's probably
of that.
It probably is the numero uno.
Manolo didn't know that was happening. They didn't have the production for it. It was a $6 cigar at the time. I think about
I think, and I don't mean to cut you off, but while
fine.
we're on that same topic, I think that would be the number one argument that Cigar Aficionado would use to counter your opinion, which is well, then explain Casa Magna, maybe the number one of all number ones. I mean, they weren't advertising. I mean, I don't know that to be 100% true, but I don't see Casada all plastered all over those types of things, especially at that time with that cigar, which, I mean, I'll be honest, I bought a ton of them. I mean, it was unbelievable. They were $5.
It was before my time.
They were $5. They were incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're just, and I haven't had one in quite a while, and they may just not be what they were, but it was a whole host of things that went into that made it what it is. But price point, I think, was number one.
Yeah. Well, and the way I equate this a little bit is the, and it's different, obviously, but is the bull, right? LFD could not keep up with the demand for the bull, and they haven't been right since. That's a really good example,
because I contemplated bull in maybe like my 4 spot or something like that, because I really like it.
Yeah.
You know, it got number one. It has mixed opinions from people that think maybe it's overrated. Some people who are obsessed with it maybe think it's the best cigar that's ever been made.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree there. I enjoy it. I like its shape.
Yeah.
Not everybody likes its shape. I am a fan. So I contemplated that, but again, availability is the number one ability, and that is unavailable.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. We won't keep going on this, but absolutely. It's it's interesting to think about. But I like the pick. We're on to the center, right?
Did you do your power forward? That was the LFD. Yeah,
that was my
So we're
LFD
going back.
DL700.
So now we need your big man in the middle. This was where I went a little different.
Okay, so I did too a little bit.
So yes and no. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil my pick when I say, but I did go Churchill.
I did too.
Okay.
Sort of. So my center. So I wanted a cigar that was strong, spicy, had some attitude, in your face, big, right? That is what I was going for.
Oh, hold on. List in your qualities again. I want
strong, in your face, spicy. I feel like I said something else, but I don't remember.
Attitude,
yeah, big attitude.
Strong. I would love to be able to think I could guess this, but strong.
It's in my wheelhouse. This is my. This is when I want something strong and full-bodied and in your face and to punch me. This is what I want. So this guy's getting down low, bullying people, rebounding people.
Oh,
just
man. I can't guess it, but I'm very interested to hear what it is.
So I went with the Tabernacle HC 142 Double Corona.
All right. So is that what it is? So I almost said Liga T52 Double Corona or number 9 Double Corona. That's where I was going, but then should have realized, yes, you would prefer a Tabernacle over Liga. But when you said I wanted to be, that,
so
that immediately jumped to my mind.
It's an interesting pick for me because not even probably 2 years ago, I preferred the Maduro over the Havana seed.
Okay.
I like broadleaf a lot. I really like the Maduro. I still love the Maduro. But the Havana seed, for whatever the last couple years, has just started popping because when I want something that's spicy and flavorful, but still well-rounded, has a little sweetness to it, that's what I smoke. I texted Austin the other day, actually, and we just got a fresh batch of Havana seeds in. And unfortunately, we don't have the Double Corona, but we do have the Robusto. And I lit up the Robusto sitting in the hallway. And it was immediately, why is that spicy?
Why is it so spicy?
Why is it so spicy?
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. I looked at Robbie, and I literally said, holy shit, that's spicy. I texted Austin. I said, smoke it. It's spicy as shit, but it's great. It's smoking unbelievably. And he agreed with me. Robbie smoked it and agreed with me. I mean, it's exactly what I want when I want something strong and full-bodied. So that's what I'm going with. My center, tall guy, obviously, going with the Double Corona.
Give me your NBA comp for this. I'd be interested to see all time. Like, I know you're not an NBA guy. This feels like you know what? Honestly, that bold, that strong, can overpower you and just do it. Feels like Shaq.
That's what I was going to say, Shaq. That's what I had written down on my list.
Shaq.
This is my Shaq. Like, this is he's breaking backboards.
Yeah.
You know, this is just, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm going with. I'm very interested to see what yours is going to be, though, since you don't really like really strong stuff.
So that is in fact the case. So pretty close to the exact opposite that you went.
Really?
Okay. I don't need my center like interrupting the flow of the game. I'm not dropping the ball down this guy, letting him dribble around and post up. I want him to be there. He's got to protect the rim, but I need consistency, but I don't need attitude. Okay? I've got an ego in my judge at the 4 spot.
Yeah.
I got Padron with a big contract.
Yep.
I got Mr. Smooth at front. I don't need more headaches. Okay? I need somebody who's going to be reliable. Okay? He's always available. Always available. Okay? Comes from a good pedigree. Plays at a blue blood in college, that kind of thing. But you know what you're going to get. It's not flashy. It's not fancy. Okay? It's Dirk. It's Nowitzki. It's the fundamentals. I can get you there. We're ready to go at all times. I like this cigar a lot. I don't smoke it in this size. It's Churchill. But I do smoke this cigar quite frequently, because it's given to me all the time by a particular person.
So that's what I feel like I know what this is going to be.
Do you?
I feel like I do. I feel like you're going Perdomo 20th Sun-Grown.
So my pick is Perdomo 20th Sun-Grown Churchill. Mr. Reliable, okay? Not going to cause trouble, okay?
Yep.
Listen, I just need 10 and 10,
Yeah.
okay? Protect the rim a little bit, you know what I mean? Don't foul out. Comes from a good program.
Consistent, baby.
Consistency. You know what you're going to get. 10 and 10. A double-double, right? He's over the years been just collecting rings and accolades. No big deal. Quietly.
Yeah.
I don't need another loudmouth in the locker room or anything like that. I got enough of those guys.
Yeah.
Right? I got somebody who's coachable.
Yeah.
Right? That's my guy. 20th Sun-Grown. Like I said, I don't personally smoke in the Churchill. I rarely smoke Churchills. The only Churchills actually I'm smoking right now are El Rey Churchills because that's what we've got left. I typically smoke this in a Robusto or Toro. I say it's given to me all the time because Mark Thibodeau, who is our rep for Perdomo, knows I like this cigar a lot, gives it to me every time. I think Perdomo does Sun-Grown really, really well.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite wrapper leaf from them. And you know what you're going to get, right? Like you just know what you're going to get in a Churchill from that company. You're not going to have the availability issues with the other guys, right? You're not going to have to worry about busted caps, aka twisted ankles. You don't got a high ankle sprain because it's popped. Yep. You know what I mean, or anything like that.
Yep.
So that's where I'm going. That's my starting five. So center, Perdomo 20th Sun-Grown. Power forward, Judge, Grand Robusto, Cigar of the Year. Loads of attitude. Thinks he runs the locker room. El Rey is my small forward. My shooting guard's my guy. He needs the ball in his hands. He's my SGA. He's shit.
Yep.
Right. He's MVP of the league. Looking for a title. That's the Perdomo number 6, 1926. My point guard, the Hoya, Connecticut. Smooth, easy going. He's got a little bit to him though. Like don't push him around. That's my starting five.
It's funny. I feel like my starting five. Just to go back over it here.
Yeah.
Point guard, Tap BC. Shooting guard's going to be Placencia 151. Small forward, Padron 1964 Exclusivo. Power forward, the LFD DL 700 Maduro, and then my center being the Tabernacle. The interesting thing about it is I feel like my team is more your beat 'em up, bruise 'em 90s basketball.
Yeah.
Where yours is very much the new school.
New school, baby. We're shooting threes. We shoot a bunch of threes. I'm not gonna lie to you. If we shoot 35% for three, we're gonna beat you. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just gonna happen. Like we shoot so many, as long as we get it a good clip, we're gonna get you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now a couple other things. I want to hear, not necessarily before we get to any like maybe not honorable mentions.
So we need our 6th man of the year here.
Yeah, you need a 6-man. So
I want you to go first because I don't want to take yours, and I have 2 in case I do.
Okay, so here's what I'm looking for in a 6 guy. Instant offense. I'm gonna sub you in. Okay, you may not be my everyday guy. Sometimes you get stuck in the box. Sometimes and you got to hang out. I can't have you on a big contract.
Yep.
Okay, but you got to be good.
Yep.
We don't bring in chumps or anything like that. So I was actually torn between a couple. One, which I think is a staple, and I'm actually not going to give you any one. I'm going to just give you the line. Like you could choose anything from that a person wants. And the other one is a new entrant, actually a size, because I've been like obsessed with it since we got it in. So 6th man, Charter Oak.
So this is why I let you go first.
Okay, yeah.
Because I thought that's what you would pick, and I didn't want to take it, but I've got another one that I can
Great
pick.
value player.
Yep.
Right? Knows what he's doing. Knows, like, plug him in anywhere, right?
Yep.
If I need a big man, I can go Charter Oak, Churchill.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I need a little tougher, I go to Maduro with Churchill. Right? Yep. Habano, Connecticut.
Yep.
I can play that guy at any position. Great value. Good contract for him. But great cigar always, right? And that's what you want somebody off the bench. He's not a star. He's not a starter, right? And that's not a knock. That's a...
It's 6-man. The bench wins you titles,
this
man.
This is Manu Ginobili, right?
Yeah.
This is Jamal Crawford. This is... Who did I have written down for 6-man? Let me, like... I give like some examples.
Randall on there?
Oh, Vinny Johnson, the old Detroit Piston. Instant office, the microwave. As soon as you put him in, baby, heat him up, he's ready to go. That's why they call him the microwave. Like, that's what you're getting out of Charter. So I will say this. I picked Charter Oak as a general thing. from another value great cigar that's actually new to our humidor that I just wanted to shout out. I have been obsessed with, and then this may be like I just had to have him GM thing. The Roma and Temperance, the new Toro. Fidelity.
I did not know that. I didn't know you've been smoking it that much.
I love that
It's
cigar.
a great cigar.
Love that cigar.
Yeah.
Love that cigar. So it almost got a sec. But Charter Oak's been out there hustling it. Deserves a spot.
Yep. I like it. So Charter Oak was mine. I feel like Charter Oak's the quintessential one, in my opinion, especially in our humidor.
It feels like it, right?
Right.
It was
Like,
that was the easiest of the choices. That just naturally fit.
And that, in my opinion, is probably the easiest line to recommend in our humidor because there's something for everybody, and it's good price points at $8
Yeah.
right? But since you took it, I'm not going to take it. I am going to take one of our best sellers from last year. Yeah, it was last year. Maybe it was 2 years ago. And that's the Zeno Nicaragua.
Good. Yep. Thought about it.
And here's why. It's interesting because the Zeno Nicaragua is a Connecticut. But when we had that event where we had the Zeno trailer at the shop, we had all sorts of smokers there. And everybody was smoking Zeno Nicaragua, and everybody loved it. Whether they were a full-bodied smoker, a more mild smoker, a medium smoker, didn't matter. They absolutely loved it. It's $750 to $850 in our humidor.
Yep.
There's 3 sizes in it. It is a great morning cigar. It's a great afternoon cigar. It's a great evening cigar. I know it is one of your favorite cigars, and it delivers every single time. It's got Davidoff quality to it. And again, it's the cheap contract. You're not paying a lot of money for it, and I'll still grab it and smoke it when I don't know what I want and I don't want anything too strong. And that says a lot, in my opinion.
Go ahead.
Well,
I was gonna say it was on my final list. And the only reason not the only reason, but one of the main reasons I chose Charter Oak of it, use a term, is versatility.
Yeah.
You're only getting the Connecticut with the Zeno.
Yep.
Now, I would not be surprised if they don't expand that line out at some point in time, be more representative of, like, say, how Charter Oak is, because Charter Oak does have Connecticut, Habano, and a Maduro, all in those same price points. So
I do think another honorable mention, and then I want to say something about rum. Another honorable mention is going to be the Tatuaje Tattoo.
Yeah,
obviously.
Thought
love
about
the
it
brand.
too. Thought about it too.
$6.50,
so
$7.
highly rated. Yep.
My father made just an awesome cigar. But one thing about Romacraft, we're comparing to NBA here. They're a 6-man that has a starting lineup that could win a championship. And what I mean by that is their price points are so good and they are so versatile, and they have
100%.
something for everybody in their lines. And obviously they're well awarded Half Wheel's #1 cigar of the year last year. We love Skip and we love Rosales, but it's what they've been able to do at the price points that they deliver. I don't know if you've smoked the new Baca yet, but the new Baca
I haven't had a chance yet. You guys have been obsessed with it.
It's got Marifel Cameroon on it. That is
10 out of 10.
that is the best Cameroon in the world, and reblended, tweaked, and it's like, $11, $12, $13. Also, they're good under pressure, right? Look at what they've done with Cro-Magnon in the last year. Taking a cigar and switching it from Connecticut broadleaf to Pennsylvania broadleaf is a big freaking deal, especially when it's their, cult following, right? And they were able to do it even better than the original, in my opinion. I mean, what they're doing right now is it's top-notch. Top-notch.
It's agreed. I mean, I get it. We've expanded them out in the humidors. They're getting into most of the shops now and everything like that. That is a great way to describe it. They could fill out, and there's probably others that could too, but when you're talking from all those different things, you could fill out a time with just them alone.
That may be I don't want to pick one of their cigars, but they're definitely my underrated brand. Not to segue into that, but if I had to pick a brand in the humidor that I thought was underrated to a degree, at least in the stores, it's them. Just with what they're doing right now.
Yeah, I would 100% put them, at least for us.
Yeah, for us.
Because I'm sure, Skip and Rosales tell you, there's some, I'm sure, shops that Roma's their #1 SKU, and then they just blow it out and everything like that.
We've only had Roma in the humidors for what, 2 years now?
Yeah.
3 years maybe, and 2.5. to see what they've been able to do in that 2.5, 3 years, and the foothold that they've kind of gotten, and they're starting to get in the humidor. I mean, we opened up in Durham, and we had some Roma Craft backstock that we just decided to put on the shelf to see what happened, and it was one of the first things to sell out, specifically the Cro-Magnon Candela LE. I can't remember the name of it.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Wild. Like, it just was gone.
And it was a Candela.
Yeah,
Like-
well, and I mean, it's not unusual to see somebody geek out and grab Roma and be super excited about it, but that's the most Candelas we've sold in the last 2 years combined. Like,
Easy.
it's one box. Like, that is just not a cigar that goes here. We
Yeah.
do not carry them, generally speaking. We only carry
Yeah.
that because that was Roma, and if you're going to carry one, you might as well carry it from some of the people who do things
Yeah.
at their level.
Yeah, and it was just cool to see new market, new customers, don't know what they want. That was not something I thought was going to sell, and it sold like hotcakes. So
Yeah. Okay, couple more. Give me your coach.
I don't want to take yours. I feel like I'm going to.
Are we?
I feel like I'm going. Listen, if I'm picking a coach here, I've got 2 in mind.
Okay, you can say it on. You can say your number one pick on 3. And if it's the same, 1, 2, 3.
Maleo.
Pepin. Oh.
How about that?
Interesting.
How about that?
Wow, you picked the wrong one. Interesting. How about that?
All
No,
right.
listen, if you went first,
Yeah.
all right. If I'm gonna pick personally, I went back and forth on this. It is these two people. It's these two people. I went. Now, Pepin is represented in a way the
Yep.
most on both of these lists, right? 2 of mine directly,
Yep.
and a couple of yours, one of yours,
Just one of mine.
just
but
one of yours indirectly,
Indirect,
if
yep,
you want to put it
yep.
like that. But, in one sense, has at least influence. Let's put it that way, right? Like,
Yeah.
his assistant coach who rose up to coach his own team.
Well, and this
if you
was
will.
very much so. This list is also me diversifying and making a team, because I very well could have done a full Tatuaje list, no
that's
problem.
a very fair point.
Yeah.
You're a tag guy,
Yeah.
but we're not that far off. If I was going to fill this with, like, 5, like, what I thought was the best one, like, I feel like I probably would have put DPG Blue on here somewhere.
Oh, sure.
I'd
I'd have put K222. I'd have
you could
put
make a real
Brown
case-
Label Rejeos. Like,
Yeah. Cracker Crumbs could have been a great
Cracker
6th
Crumbs,
man.
yep.
I thought about Jaime as this great 6th man, right?
Yep.
Like, that's coming off the bench. You get Connecticut, you get Maduro. Like, the price point is really sensitive. For me, it was really close. It
Yep.
was really close because I would smoke Maleo's portfolio across the board all day, every day.
Yep.
And I would smoke Pepin's all day,
Yeah.
every day. But that's good. So for the sake of it, I'm gonna take Pepin's gonna coach
Yeah.
my team, and you're gonna go with Maleo.
So why'd you go Pepin?
Mainly because I feel like if I was picking my favorite 10 cigars, if I was just doing it like that, that his name probably comes up more often than it does. Right?
Okay, I got you.
Knows how to coach championships. Well, he's won the rings. So it's interesting. Like, you made the comparison where if you were equating it to basketball, my team feels like the new school team. Yours feel like
Yep.
the old school team. If we were applying coaches to
It
that,
really should be
it would be
flip-flopped.
inverted.
Yep.
That's 100% correct.
Yep.
It would be inverted. Like, my guy coaches a bruising, let's beat him up Jordan rules type of thing.
Yep.
And Malia's probably a coach. Let's pop some threes, baby. Let's,
Yep.
So that's a very interesting kind of like dynamic to it
Yeah.
when you talk about it like that. But the way we did our teams and wanted to diversify everything like that kind of shows, where you can go with the different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, and so I went Maleo over Pepin and a couple other people for one reason, and that's young blood. Right? I want a young coach.
You're getting Brad Stevens.
I want a coach that's going
Right?
to be around for a
You're
long
Brad
time.
Stevens, hot, knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're building a legacy here, right? Like we're building something great, and just like I think Foundation in 10 years has built something great and is continuing to build something great. It just made the most sense to me to go him. Now, the one other one that I thought about, but it didn't fit my team, was Kyle. But Kyle doesn't feel like a coach. Kyle feels like you're like marketing, locker room, behind the scenes kind of guy, right?
He feels, all right, if we're equating this to basketball, here's what I would say. Because of where his company is, he feels like director of like player development.
Yes, that's
right?
yes.
If
yes,
that makes
yes,
sense,
yes,
right?
yes, yes,
like
yes.
is in the mix. Like
Yep.
has his hands on what we're doing here. Like he's not doing ads and stuff like that. This
Yep.
person is helping decide who is on this team, but maybe isn't GM or coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe if you thought about it, like Malia's GM and Kyle's coaching or something
Yeah.
like that kind of thing.
Yep.
Well, the interesting thing is they cross lines, right? They
do.
You know,
And I will say
they would make a good pair.
Yeah, I agree with you. The one thing about Malio that I think he's kind of got that from a coaching perspective, since we're doing this, is Malio owns fields. He owns tobacco. Kyle does not.
Huge difference.
Now Kyle is working with people who are growing tobacco for him.
And I think someday Kyle, it may not be someday. That makes it sound like his father will have those things.
Yeah.
Well, there's a certain amount of flexibility and creativity
Yeah.
that you can get when you own things.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So that's your coach. Got our 6-man. Rookie of the year. Okay, we just drafted a guy. This year's draft, he's not playing until next year, but damn, we're excited. Like, this guy's got major potential. This came off way easier for me than I thought. It's going to come a little bit out of left field, but this came super easy for me.
Go ahead.
And I was thinking about the things, and the way I thought about it was new, right? This is a rookie. This is new to the field. So I thought about, AJ 20. I was like, oh, man, we've got JFR. We've got these types of things and everything like that. This we're at the combine, right?
Yep.
And we're just burying buckets.
Yep.
Putting much better players like down. You're like, what's going on? I'm going with the man. If between that and that intemperance,
Yep.
I haven't been that like into a cigar in a while because they smoke so many different things, and I have a tendency just to smoke what's out of the sample bag. You know what I mean? And you just kind of almost out of habit sometimes. I have been in love with that cigar.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't hurt that we got a bunch of it, so I feel okay to smoke it out of the
Yeah,
humidor
sure.
and everything like that.
Yeah.
I love that cigar, and I don't love Florida Las Antillas on a normal basis. It's not bad. It's good. But that damn ma'am in that shape, I don't know what it is about it. It's really caught me the way that intemperance has. So that's my ROY, my rookie of the year. We drafted him. He was probably projected to be an early second-round pick.
Yeah.
And my stupid ass took him 8th overall, what I mean? And given a huge contract and everything like that. So that is
got to prove the haters
yeah,
wrong.
he's got to prove something. Like, it's we got some big hitters, so you have to get on the court. But what's interesting is like he's going to immediately challenge for 6-man because the price point is really good on it.
Yeah. So my rookie of the year, and ruffle some feathers here,
Oh,
but
boy.
it's true. My rookie of the year is the Bronny to LeBron if Bronny didn't suck.
Oh.
Okay. So
Wait a minute.
imagine
You're saying Bronny sucks?
I am saying it. I actually don't think that's very controversial, but imagine Bronny coming into the league and just taking the mantle from his dad.
Oh
right?
my god! Let me think. I mean, the way you describe things is so good. Like I don't know. I don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And this is literally the perfect example because this person is taking the mantle from his dad, and that's the Perdomo legacy.
Great pick. Now, so didn't cross my mind, and here's why. I haven't got a chance to smoke it yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
that's fair, and it's a little unfair because I have and no customer has, and
good pick though because it hasn't seen the floor yet. right? You
exactly right. I'm drafting this off.
We're
of,
hoping to see it by the end of the.
I think it ships
the end
June
of the
the
month.
23rd.
June 23rd
June
is when it's
23rd is
supposed
when
to
it ships.
I am, based on what you've told me, based on what Robbie has said about and I naturally want to call it a sun grown, because of how their lines usually fall, but it's not.
Yeah.
Shade grown Corojo. You've heard us talk about it. You guys, you are in no way, shape, or form a person I would describe as a Perdomo guy.
Nope.
You don't knock Perdomo, but
Yep.
it's just not your thing. And for you to come out and be that excited about it and that flattering of that shade grown Corojo, correct?
Yeah, it's a shade grown Corojo Cameroon hybrid wrapper leaf.
Which is insane. Which
Yep.
is sick. That nobody's really doing, to my knowledge, right?
No, it's a first time thing. It's proprietary to Perdomo.
Yeah.
This is one of maybe the first cigar that Nick's blended. Now it was Nick and Arthur, but still, it's the son, right? Like
Yeah.
it's taken the mantle, and
That's a great thing.
I will venture to pick that, or venture to say that it will be our #1 selling cigar once we get it for the rest of the year. That's how confident I am in it. That's how much I think people will love it, because I think the Perdomo guys will love it, but I also think the geeky guys will love it. And like, if as long as the sample I smoked is as good as what comes in the box,
Yep.
right? That's what I'm basing this off of. I genuinely will want it in my humidor at all times. That's how good it was.
Yeah, I missed the pro day. They both have said this. Like, even Robbie, who not a Perdomo person as well, like, glammed over it. Yeah, I missed its pro day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I let another
you took
GM
one for the team. That's
I let another GM go in and see it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No.
Not crazy in a bad way, but as good of a company as that is, I mean, listen, it's no secret to anybody who shops with us that Perdomo is our #1 SKU for traditional cigars from a company standpoint, right? We support that brand. Our customers support that brand highly. And to have something new for them to have something so unique compared to what they have had in the past. Like, we've seen the introductions of 30th and the double vintage, and they're great cigars, but they are what they are. This is new territory for them to come out with something so different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I'm excited to get it. And and if you're listening to this, I mean, you'll listen to this podcast. Today's the 3rd of June. Podcast will come out next week, and then probably 2 weeks after that, it'll be on our humidor shelves, assuming that they ship it on time. But if there's a company that we're not concerned about with availability, it's them.
I know. I'm bummed. I'm going to be at the beach the week that we're supposed to get it.
Comes, yeah.
But I may have to I'm going to be on Oak Island, so I legitimately will probably. I mean, I'm going to go see Cole and Lindsay anyways, but I'll probably make a trip to the shop if they get it in. If it gets in time and gets down to them in time, I will legitimately go buy some, because I want to try the Connecticut and Maduro, like really, really bad, because I just smoked the.
Yes, we didn't get to try the Connecticut and Maduro, but everybody's so psyched about that.
Yeah.
Shade grown.
Yep. All right. You want to do some overrated, underrated to wrap it up?
Sure. All right. So, underrated for me, we're looking. They're on our radar.
Are we going in the humidor or not? Or it could be anything.
I'm thinking, because I didn't actually specifically pick an underrated.
Because all right, I'll start this then. So
right,
I mean,
go ahead,
obviously
I may play off you on this one.
Obviously, my underrated, if it's in the humidor, is Romacraft, right? Specifically, probably the Volstead line. It's the one that I find myself gravitating to the most. It's medium bodied. It's Sumatran wrapper, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just absolutely fantastic. And it's a good price point. They're all like $10 or less. I love that cigar. But what Romacraft is doing, I don't want to harp on it anymore, is fantastic. If it's not in the humidor, then I am... Like, what I hate to bring them up again, but like PCA scouting camp, it's Chamali, man.
Chamali.
It's Chamali. Like
Chamali's the foreigner.
Yeah, they're the Victor Wembanyama. Like they got people excited.
That's the maybe best prospect of all time to come in. That may be an
this is one of the best prospects I've seen in a long time. So,
but they're the foreigner. Like you went over to like an international scouting showcase, and you're like, dude, this dude's just burying threes. What's happening right now?
It's funny. Jimmy, shout out him from Southport who listens to this. Commented on the last podcast post and said that he actually bought a couple boxes of Chamali for himself.
Did he really?
Yeah, and he gave Cole some. I haven't talked to either of them to find out if they've smoked it or not, but
I'd be curious where he ended up buying them from.
Probably Fox.
Fox is the only company, at least publicly, that I've seen where they went full pull on Chamali.
Yeah, but I haven't been so impressed with a cigar in a long time. And the fact that I brought it up, 4 times on this podcast now?
Yeah.
Says a lot. Now, the other one would be that Domain that we tried. They were really, really,
so
really,
Domain
really good.
Off of the thing is on my radar. I would be, that would be like, it's kind of underrated, that kind of thing. Underrated for me in our humidor is kind of all things warped.
Yeah.
I believe is... Not everybody is kind of on their radar. As much as we talk about kind of stuff like that, it's still a bit of a, hey, give it a try.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Overrated, and I don't want to use it as a bad term, but they're trying to get a contract. They're trying to get on a team. I just don't do much with Fuente outside of Opus personally. I mean, I've said it on this podcast a handful of times that Opus 20th is my favorite, maybe all-around cigar. But
Fuente's the guy that's asking for 50 or 60 million a year, and they probably deserve it, but you're probably not going to win a championship with them.
Yeah.
You're
and the interesting thing is you could put somebody out here on this podcast right now to do their 5. They might only put Fuentes on there. Right? A collection of Opus, RSGs, and Yehos. They make some of the more... No company makes more sought-after cult cigars than Fuente.
Yep.
Because of the Opus line. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on the... They are what they are, and they're good, but it's a shame that all their stuff isn't as good as the other stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, it's funny.
And again, it's not, because I don't want to feel like we're knocking Fuente, because we do great with Fuente. We have a lot of customers who love Fuente. It's just one of those that is just, their regular lines and core lines is not my thing necessarily.
Fuente, I'm gonna say this, and someone's gonna come up to me and be like, "You're an asshole."
What's your problem?
Fuente's an old man cigar.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, some old man's going to bust you with a cane, bro.
But you know what I mean? Like, a lot of our customers who buy Fuente consistently are the older guys who have been smoking a long time, and they like the legacy brands. And Fuente is probably the best Dominican legacy brand.
Yeah.
Like, let's not mince words here. Like, we're, again, not knocking Fuente, but the younger folks that are getting into it, they may start on an 858 or a Don Carlos.
Yeah.
But they quickly move on to other things.
Yep.
Right? And it's funny you say Fuente, though, because if I was going overrated that was in the humidor, I'm going Ashton. The reason I'm going Ashton is because
you know what? That's probably, now that you say that, if I go back and switch, because they're made by Fuente,
and
they're
father.
they're more expensive. Yeah. Other people are doing it for them.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
And they're fine. They're fine cigars.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm picking between a Double Chateau and an Ashton Classic Churchill,
yeah,
I'm picking the Double Chateau every time because it's basically the same thing and it's $7 cheaper.
Yeah.
Right?
And the they're not getting the most out of the people who make the cigars for them.
Correct.
They're not getting the...
And that's the thing, right? Like Ashton VSG, it's good, but a lot of people tell me it's not as good as it once was. I can't speak to that. That's just what customers have said. The ESG is an unbelievably good cigar, but it's way too expensive, right? If you look at the La Aroma de Cuba stuff, the Passion's awesome, the Mi Amor Reserva is awesome, But when you can get the My Father product for $1 or $2 cheaper,
It doesn't make any sense.
why
to do
wouldn't
that,
you
yeah.
just buy that?
And again, because I don't feel like you're getting. Trying to figure out how I want to frame this. You're getting what Ashton wants out of My Father,
Yes.
not what My Father would want. I just feel like if you turn the reins over to Pepin and the folks at My Father and Jaime and Yanni and said, here's just kind of generally what I want with La Roma or San Cristobal, because they're making San Cristobal as well, right?
Yeah.
Am I correct in that? I think it would come out, it would come out much, 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 much more My Father than it would what it currently exists.
Yep.
But that's, listen, I'm not here to tell a brand that sells a whole bunch of cigars, too, that you're doing it wrong, because they're not. Right? You do it for what you do it for. But, yeah, I agree.
And our humidor specifically for our customers.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's where I would go.
Yep. I like your team.
Thanks.
I think my team is better.
I think you're wrong.
You're wrong. Your mom goes to college. And again, I would love to hear. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take, after this podcast, when the podcast comes out next week, we're going to put it on for consecutive days. Okay? We're going to put each position up, right? First day, we'll do point guard against point guard. Do it blind.
Yep.
We're going to do it before the release of the podcast. Okay? We'll release the podcast at the end of the week.
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leading up to Father's Day. We're going to put it blind up there and let you choose between, and we're going to keep track and see how this 5 rolls out.
Yep.
I'd be very interested to see, because I could see a world where all 5 of yours win. You know what I mean? I could see a world where, there's going to be a lot of people who would much prefer your Tabernacle over my Sun-Grown.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So I'll be very curious to see. I'm going to be very upset if all 5 of yours beat me. I'll have to go back to the drawing board.
I need to find a Tat Black Label Petit Corona and a DL700 Maduro before then.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah.
That's gonna be a problem.
Listen,
you're gonna win. You're gonna win just because I'm gonna have to forfeit.
Listen, mine are available because you can buy them. Okay, so they're available at the store. Be nice, and you're gonna be able to get them. Give me here's another one. Keep the conversation going a little bit. Give me a free agent. Give me somebody who, here's a great way of putting it. Okay, give me something where if the price was better, like if they would just come to terms on your deal of the contract that could make your list. Do you know what I mean?
I have one.
Okay.
And this is such a wild card, and people are going to be like, what in the hell are you talking about?
Okay.
But this is a cigar that wins championships, and if I could get them for the right price, I'd put them on the team. The Tabac Dolce.
Wow. A little bit of flavor, a little bit smooth and creamy.
Listen.
I would not have had flavored cigar on the bingo.
So here's the thing. Flavored cigars are some of the best-selling cigars on the market, and I do not like them, except for that one. I love that cigar, and I do not smoke it very often.
Interesting enough, that is my favorite one, too.
I know. But in the morning with a cup of coffee, especially when I'm at the beach for some reason, it's nice. I got the sea breeze. I drink my coffee black. I like having that little bit of sweetness and creaminess with the coffee. But I also know a lot of people love flavored cigars, and they smoke them every single day.
Yep.
So that's my well-rounded.
Yep.
That's my well-rounded free agent that I don't have to have them, but if I could get them for the right price, I'd sign them.
Yeah. So mine's going to be interesting because I already see it coming down the road. Okay. It's in the humidor. I haven't got a chance to smoke it yet. I 100% agree that I'm going to like it, love it probably, but the first thing I'm going to say is I just wish this was less expensive, and that's going to be that new Elma.
Yep.
The Cilio. We'll call it Cilio for now.
Sure.
The Cello.
Yeah.
Bong
Yep.
bong. I know it's going to be good. It's from Placencia. I know it's going to fit my style vibe. It's going to want to be on my team bad. And it's going to be looking for $400 million, and I don't have $400 million to spend.
Yeah.
Right? I just know right now that's how I'm going to feel about it. I'm going to love it, but I'm not going to be able to commit to paying it.
Yep.
And then I might get stuck paying the Brock Purdy contract. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
This was a lot of fun. I
That
like
was
this pod.
fun. Yeah,
a
it
lot
was
of fun.
fun.
This
That
was
was
a lot of fun. Great way to describe cigars. NBA finals start, what did we say? Thursday night?
Thursday night. Who you got?
Thunder, Pacers, Thunder in 5.
All right, I got Thunder in 6.
Thunder at 6. I think the Pacers are good. I don't think they're anywhere near the Thunder.
They were Thunder was preseason favorite, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
I think that's for
the Thunder have lived up to everything that they're supposed to have lived up to.
And I genuinely think, listen, Tyrese Halliburton's awesome, but I genuinely think, man, like you ever, like it's almost like they blew their load too early.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that game 1 against the Knicks, he did the choke thing. It's everywhere now. It's being memed out. It is hilarious.
Yep.
But he's gonna look like a real asshole if they go in there and OKC just shits on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's going to happen because I think Indiana gets 1 at home out of pride, but I think it's a gentleman's sweep. Now, Indiana's been proving me wrong since the beginning. I didn't think they would get past, I can't remember who they played the first round, the Cavs. I didn't think they would beat the Cavs. I thought the Cavs were better.
Choked.
Yeah, the Cavs really kind of crapped the bed. All right, that starts Thursday night. And then we got Stanley Cup playoffs Wednesday night. You got Edmonton, Florida.
Yep.
What do you think there?
Because I don't like Florida, I'm going to go Edmonton. But
so I'm going to Edmonton as well.
I don't.
Because Florida won last year, they got their child.
No.
I would like to see Connor McDavid get a championship. I
Yeah.
like it when the best players on the planet, you know, that have that kind of reputation, get their championship.
Yeah.
But I do think this goes. I actually don't know who has home ice advantage in this. I think Edmonton probably does.
I don't either.
If Edmonton does, I think this goes 6. If Florida has the home ice advantage, I think it goes 7, and Edmonton wins it on the road in 7.
Okay.
But I think it's a good series because Florida annoys me a little bit, but they have good players, Kachuk, Marshall. These guys are really good.
Yeah.
They've already, I mean, it's their 3rd Stanley Cup final in a row, winning last year. So,
and
they're really good.
We have a little side bet.
We have
Big
side
MLB
bet.
series this weekend.
Biggest series. You'll know when you listen to this, it'll have already happened.
Yeah.
Cubs, Tigers.
Cubs, Tigers.
Best team in baseball against the best team in Chicago. That's good. You guys are better than the White Sox.
That
That's
is true.
Solid.
That is very
you
true.
You guys are better than the White Sox.
That is very true.
The Cubs are having a great year. Tigers, Cubs in Detroit. My only concern is the Tigers have been such a heater. They're due for a little bit of a weekend letdown. I hope this is not the weekend, but we got a little riding on it.
Cubs have been in a little bit of a slump, and their pitching is hurt, so I'm a little concerned too.
Yeah.
But
so we got a little bit of riding on it.
Cubs,
It's going to be a good time.
But hey, you know where you can watch all this stuff?
Right here.
Right here.
Right here. Come into the Durham Lounge if you haven't been here yet. Got all the actually you can watch it in any of our lounges.
Yeah, but it's cooler. It's
but it's cooler here. Have a beer. You'll be hearing this next week. We'll be leading up to Father's Day. Got some cool stuff for Father's Day coming. If you are a customer and you're in our loyalty system, you get our emails and our text messages. Look out for something special at the end of the week next week.
Yep.
Not going to say it because I don't want to jinx it or come up short or anything like that. But look out for something next week. We'll have good deals for Father's Day. If you're a dad out there and you're listening to this, shout out to you guys. We appreciate it. I'm going to give the YouTube kid thing. Like this video. Subscribe to this video. Subscribe, unsubscribe, and then resubscribe.
Yeah,
I think that works.
And real quick, we're trying to cast a model for something. So if you want to be on this podcast and you are in Greensboro and or Durham and don't mind being a model for something, let us know.
Yes, we've got it. Yes, if you would be willing to dress up for the sake of us making fun of you, but in an educational way.
Correct.
Reach out to us.
Yeah.
Because we've got something fun.
Otherwise,
I don't know what we're doing. We're doing it soon.
Force somebody to do it.
Yeah, we're going to force somebody to do it. Probably the Bearded Wonder over there. We could probably get him dressed up.
He agreed to it, and he doesn't even know what it is.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what
That's
he
a
said.
team player right there.
He doesn't even know what he said. But we're going to do something fun, something educational. I think that people really gravitate towards too. about cigars and how they're done and everything like that. So my starting five is better than yours. No big deal. Don't feel bad about it. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See you, boys.
Yeah, between two burns, yeah, between two burns. Come and join the convo. Jason and Ethan here to talk, yo. Chillin' while we filling up the room with cigar smoke. Hey, between two burns, yeah, between two burns. This be the show that you like. We always keeping it hype. We got cigars in the mic, talking the pipe and the pint. Let's go.